FBC Firebreak, which is a multiplayer first-person shooter coming to PC and Xbox Series X in 2025. It's a 3-player cooperative shooter set in Control's Federal Bureau of Control, as you are trying to save the headquarters. It takes place, they said, several years after Control. So I don't know what that means for like the story, and if it will have story elements in it, or if it's just exploring the FBC and it's going to push that story, or it's just their take to try to get people, you know, back into the multiplayer world, because those are all the rage now. But I'll check it out. At least 2025 is when this is going to come out. They have an opportunity to make it really weird, which I'm super on board for. When they throw a gnome at the end of this and it explodes everything around it, it's kind of into that.
It has the exact same, I think, an end goal or objective as the Dark Tide series had.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, we're gonna give you the cool scenes and locales and different enemies and like weird objects of power that you would see in Control, but it's not Control. So if you were hesitant about playing Control, we're giving you the world in a co-op game that you and your friends can play that isn't that serious. And so it like feeds you into it. Because I know after a lot of people played Vermintide, they were just like obsessed with learning more about Warhammer. And then, you know, a lot of the same thing when it comes to 40K. Like, you know, games can be a window into a world. And I feel like because the Remedyverse is so big, this, you know, it seems like their objective here is to get people like pretty hype on Remedy games when Control 2 comes out. Because that's the next thing after this.
Right. That's their next big game. So I'll play it. I'll check it out at least. They have enough objective powers to like pull from that they could do really cool stuff with that if they keep it comedic. They kind of are, at least in that trailer when they throw that gnome. I was very into the idea that everything explodes around it. And they can also just make shit up too as other objects of power.
Most of the things in the oldest house are not like, it's going to destroy the world. You know, there's a scene with a little rubber duck. That rubber duck, all it does is prevent you from catching it. That's its whole thing. It just hides from you. Like, there's all sorts of weird stuff. The sticky tape stuff, that's just another thing that isn't necessarily evil. It's just kind of like there's things that are terrible and then there's things that are not. It's all weird. It's very SCP. It's if you've never played the game, it's a good vibe all around. It's like one weird thing and then another weird thing. And if you want to read up on them, there's so much stuff to read in the game. You're like, oh, that's what that means. It's great. I love Control.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only in the game, there's like, I don't know how many years ago Control came out, but that was my first taste of like the world of the SCP stuff. And I had no idea how much I had to catch up on. Like, there is so much lore.
Endless amounts.
It's insane.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Endless amounts of content there that they could pull from. So could be very cool.